90% of the world's most advanced AI chips pass through a single packaging bottleneck in Taiwan. Not fabrication. Packaging. And almost nobody outside the industry understands why that matters more than the fab itself. According to TrendForce Q1 2026 report, TSMC controls roughly 90% of global CoWoS advanced packaging capacity, the exact process required to build every NVIDIA H100, H200, and Blackwell GPU shipped to Microsoft, Meta, and Google. If that one process line stops, the entire AI economy stops with it. And Wall Street is only starting to figure this out. This is the story of how the least glamorous stage of chipmaking became the most valuable choke point on Earth, why Taiwan still owns it, and what happens when Beijing decides it wants that choke point for itself. Here's exactly what this means and why you should care. For 40 years, the chip industry obeyed one rule: shrink the transistor. Every 2 years, Intel, TSMC, and Samsung raced to cut nanometers in half. That race is now hitting a wall. According to a 2025 IEEE Spectrum analysis, the cost per transistor at 3 nanometer is actually higher than at 5 nanometer. Moore's law, in its economic sense, is dying. So the industry pivoted. If you can't make transistors smaller, you stack them. You bond them side by side. You wire dozens of chiplets together into a single package that behaves like one giant processor. That pivot has a name: advanced packaging. And it just became the new frontier of the chip war. On March 18, 2025, TSMC chairman C.C. Wei stood in Hsinchu and told investors the company would triple its CoWoS capacity by the end of 2026. According to Reuters coverage of that earnings call, TSMC is spending over $32 billion in capital expenditure this year alone, with a growing share flowing directly into packaging fabs in Jiayin and Miaoli. That number should stop you. Because packaging used to be the cheap part. For decades, chip companies designed silicon in California, printed it in Taiwan, then shipped the wafers to Malaysia, the Philippines, or China for what the industry called OSAT, outsourced semiconductor assembly and test. Companies like ASE Technology, Amkor, and SPIL did the low-margin work of cutting wafers, wiring pins, and encasing chips in plastic. It was the janitorial floor of the semiconductor building. That building just got flipped upside down. Here's where the story changes. When NVIDIA's H100 launched in 2023, it wasn't a single chip. It was a graphics processor, stacked next to 6 towers of HBM memory, all sitting on a silicon interposer the size of a postage stamp. That interposer, and the process of bonding everything to it, is called CoWoS, chip on wafer on substrate. And according to SemiAnalysis's July 2025 breakdown, CoWoS capacity, not GPU wafer supply, is the single reason NVIDIA can't ship enough H100s and B200s to satisfy demand. Let that sink in. The most valuable company on earth is throttled not by design, not by fabrication, but by assembly. But here's what nobody is telling you. Even if Intel, Samsung, or a US OSAT wanted to catch up, they can't, not this decade. Because advanced packaging isn't one machine you buy from ASML. It's a stack of hundreds of proprietary process steps that TSMC has been refining since 2011. According to a 2026 Bernstein Research note, TSMC's yield on CoWoS, the newest variant used for Blackwell, is estimated above 90%, while Samsung's equivalent is still below 60%. Yield is everything. A 30-point yield gap means TSMC can charge premium prices and still undercut every competitor on cost per working chip. That's the moat. Let's break down the 3 sub-battles inside this new frontier. First, the 2.5D battle. This is where a logic chip and memory sit side by side on a silicon interposer. It's the current workhorse for AI accelerators. TSMC dominates it. Intel's Foveros technology is competitive on paper, but according to Intel's own Q4 2025 earnings call, Foveros volume remains under 5% of TSMC's CoWoS output. Samsung's iCube platform is even further behind. Second, the 3D battle. This is true vertical stacking, where logic sits directly on top of logic, connected by microscopic copper pillars called hybrid bonds. AMD's MI300, Apple's M Ultra chips, and NVIDIA's next-generation Rubin platform all use variants of this. TSMC calls its version SoIC, System on Integrated Chips. According to a January 2026 DigiTimes report, SoIC volume is projected to grow more than 200% year over year. Third, the chiplet battle. This is the architectural shift where a single processor is broken into smaller, specialized dies, each manufactured on the optimal node, then reassembled inside one package. AMD pioneered this with EPYC. Intel is betting its entire foundry business on it. And the standard that ties these chiplets together, called UCIe, was co-founded by TSMC, Intel, and AMD in 2022. Whoever controls the packaging line controls which chiplets talk to which. This is where the geopolitics turns sharp. On October 17, 2023, the U.S. Commerce Department expanded its export controls to cover not just advanced chips but the advanced packaging tools used to assemble them. According to the Federal Register notice, any packaging step that combines logic and HBM above a certain performance threshold now requires an export license if it involves China. Beijing responded exactly how you'd expect. According to a Nikkei Asia investigation from February 2026, China's Big Fund 3 has allocated over $25 billion specifically toward domestic packaging capacity, funneled through JCT, Tongfu Microelectronics, and a rising player called Chipmore. JCT is now the world's third largest OSAT by revenue, behind ASE and Amkor. But here's the twist. Volume is not the same as capability. According to a March 2026 Bloomberg report citing internal SMIC documents, China's most advanced domestic packaging line is still roughly 2 generations behind TSMC's CoWoS-L. They can package Huawei's Ascend 910C. They cannot yet package anything competitive with Blackwell. And they cannot buy the tools to close the gap, because ASML, Applied Materials, and Tokyo Electron are all now bound by the same export regime that restricts lithography. This is the choke point inside the choke point. Now let's talk about the OSAT giants themselves. ASE Technology, headquartered in Kaohsiung, reported 2025 revenue of over $19 billion according to its own annual filing. It's the largest pure-play OSAT on Earth. Amkor, based in Arizona, pulled in roughly $6.5 billion per its Q4 2025 10K. And SPIL, now a subsidiary of ASE, adds another critical layer of wire bonding and flip chip capacity. Together, these three companies handle the middle and back end for Apple, Qualcomm, MediaTek, and increasingly, NVIDIA's overflow demand. But the crown jewel work, the CoWoS interposers for AI accelerators, that stays inside TSMC's own fabs. And that is why Taiwan still dominates. Here's the pattern interrupt Wall Street missed. In April 2026, Amkor broke ground on a $2 billion advanced packaging facility in Peoria, Arizona, subsidized by the CHIPS Act. TSMC announced its own Arizona packaging line the same quarter. On paper, this looks like decoupling. In practice, according to a Center for Strategic and International Studies report published in May 2026, the Arizona packaging capacity will represent less than 8% of global advanced packaging output by 2028. The other 92% stays in Taiwan, South Korea, and Southeast Asia. Reshoring is real. But it is slow. And the AI build-out is not waiting. So what does this mean for investors, for consumers, for the next 5 years? First, the equipment layer becomes the next NVIDIA trade. Companies like B Semiconductor, Applied Materials, and Camtek, which supply hybrid bonders, deposition tools, and packaging inspection systems, are seeing order books explode. According to B Semiconductor's Q1 2026 earnings, hybrid bonder orders grew 340% year over year. Second, the OSATs are being repriced. ASE stock, according to Bloomberg terminal data as of June 2026, now trades at a forward PE roughly double its 5-year average. Amkor is at a decade high. The market is finally waking up. Third, and this is the strategic point most investors miss, the next Taiwan invasion scenario is no longer just about fabs. It is about packaging lines. A blockade of the Taiwan Strait doesn't just cut off 3-nanometer wafers. It cuts off every CoWoS interposer, every SoIC stack, every AI accelerator being assembled today. According to a Rhodium Group simulation published in late 2025, a 6-month disruption of Taiwan's packaging capacity would erase over $1.6 trillion in global GDP. Not fabrication. Packaging. So we come back to the opening question. Why does one bottleneck in Taiwan matter more than the fab next door? Because the fab makes the silicon. But the packaging line is what turns silicon into a working AI chip. And right now, only one island on Earth can do it at scale, at yield, and at the node the frontier demands. The chip war is no longer just about who prints the smallest transistor. It is about who assembles the final package. And Taiwan, quietly, still owns that floor. If you want to understand the chip war before Wall Street does, subscribe. I break down one geopolitical tech story every week. Next video, we answer the question everyone is asking after Blackwell. Can Samsung's HBM4 actually break TSMC's packaging monopoly, or is Jensen already locked in for the rest of the decade? Hit subscribe. You don't want to miss it.